Mazal tov, mazal tov. Rabbi Adam, mazal tov to all the Mesayimim, all the people who finished Masechet Rosh Hashana. What a beautiful, beautiful celebration! It's really, I think it's one of the most amazing things in our community is this class. Over any other type of group of learning is this specific class, and it's so special. Number one, because of the consistency. That every single week, no matter what, sometimes you miss, sometimes you don't, but you're consistent. You make sure that either you're on Zoom or you're listening to the recording or whatever it is, and you join. I was asking Rabbi Adam earlier today how he prepares and what he does, and he was telling me how he focuses in on what he focuses on and what he doesn't focus on, and it's so detailed to the extent that he focuses it so much to make sure that it's so proper for the audience, for every single person in the group. So really mazal tov, and I hope and pray that each and every one of you should continue learning with Rabbi Adam, grow together, finish all of Shas together, like Rabbi Kohanim said, B'ezrat Hashem. Amen. Just a very, very quick, the Gemara, I love to quote this Gemara on Masechet Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara says on Daf Daled Amud Bet. There's a famous quote that's used that everybody always quotes this line, and I'm going to test all of you because you just finished you're about to finish the Masechet. So I'm going to ask you. That was 18 months ago. Huh? Okay, you have to jump all the way back, right? Or at least if you can tell me what the concept means, then.
As Rabbi Kohanim said, it's just the effort, okay?
You can look inside. The Gemara says over there, towards the bottom of the page, Tafasta merubeh, lo tafasta. Tafasta mu'at, tafasta. Right, what does it mean? Famous line. I'm sure Rabbi Adam expounded on this and taught everyone what it means. It says if you try to grab a lot, you won't end up grabbing anything. But if you try to grab the little, you'll end up grabbing something. Do you remember what this line was talking about in the context of the Gemara? So what was it talking about?
7 versus 8 days of Chag.
Okay, very good. Beautiful. Rabbi. Bravo. Beautiful. Exactly. So there's three chagim, three main chagim. There's Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Right? So each holiday has a certain amount of days. On Shavuot, in the land of Israel, there's one day of the holiday. Every holiday, each of Am Yisrael would be obligated to bring the Korban Chagiga. They would bring it up for each of the holidays to bring up and sacrifice in the Beit HaMikdash. Now, what happened if a person on that first day of the holiday when they're supposed to bring the Korban, they missed it? So on Pesach and Shavuot, they have something called Tashlumin. Tashlumin is they have leftover extra days, right? For Pesach, they have 7 days to make sure they can make it up. On Shavuot, on Sukkot, they have 8 days, right? It goes all the way until after Shmini Atzeret is the last day. On Shavuot, the question is, what about Shavuot? This is what the Gemara asks over there on Daled Amud Bet. So the Gemara says, okay, you have 7 days. Why? We learn from the holiday of Pesach. The Gemara says, why do we learn from the holiday of Pesach? Why not learn from the holiday of Sukkot? The holiday of Sukkot, if you include Shmini Atzeret, is 8 days. Learn that you have 8 days of making up the Korban, and not 7 days from Pesach. And so then the Gemara comes to answer, Tafasta merubeh lo tafasta, tafasta mu'at tafasta. That if you have two decisions, a decision between going after something that is more quantity versus something that is less quantity, you should grab the one that is with less quantity. This is the conclusion of that Gemara. The question I always had was why? It makes no sense. If anything, if you're able to do more versus able to do less, why should you grab the less? Right? The Gemara is saying you have an opportunity to extend yourself to the 8th day, give yourself, second chance for those people who couldn't make it on the 7th day, give them an 8th day, versus only having 7 days. Why do we choose the 7? Why do we choose the less? And if you even listen to this line, when most people make a drasha about this line, what are they saying? When you have two options to do a lot or to do a little, focus on the little, focus on doing quality versus quantity. That's usually how this is worded. But if you look in the context of the Gemara, what is the Gemara saying? When you have the ability to be able to give a person more of a second chance, more option for a second chance, versus less, choose the less. Why? Doesn't make any sense. So I want to give you something that came to my mind that I think could be an answer. One answer people like to say is, like I explained, quality over quantity. But in this context, has nothing to do with quality over quantity. In the context of the Gemara, it's not talking about quality versus quantity, because it's talking about giving a person an extra day. Why not? Give a person that extra day as a second chance. There's an answer I came out with is maybe if you give that person that extra day, what are they going to say? Look, they're giving me so much extra time. and you're going to be mizalzel. You're going to disgrace and say, it's not so important then. Look, I have this extra time. I don't need to bring it on the first day. I'll bring it whenever I have time. Because look, Pesach, you only have 7 days. It's the 7 days of the holiday. Sukkot, it's really 7 days. The 8th day, Shmini Atzeret, there's different laws. If you remember, what is it? Pazar Keshav, right? The acronym the Gemara brings with the 8th day. Is it really considered an 8th day for Sukkot, or is it a separate holiday altogether? It depends what it's for. But when it comes to Shavuot, it's only 1 day. So why would we go to the 8th day? If you go 8, then what are people going to say? Look, it's like one of those holidays like Sukkot that we extended long. You have extra days to bring your korban. They won't care so much about it. So the Gemara is saying, no, focus on the smaller amount. Why? A lot of times you need to look at the less, and you need to say, if you give a person too much, you give them too much opportunity, you give them too much to eat, too much in front of them, then they say, what is all of this? And I'll give you a parable just to understand this answer. Imagine I come in front of you and I put kubide, I put bag, I put chicken, I put all different types of foods, all different types of desserts, all different types of everything. What are you going to say? Someone comes and asks you, how was the food? It was great. Which part was great? Whatever, everything. What do you mean everything? Which part was great? I don't know, I had all the food. But if I come and put just very juicy kubide in front of you, and you ate the kubide and it tasted amazing, and someone comes and asks you, how was the food? It was amazing. What was good? The kubide was out of this world. Why? Why do you remember the kubide? Because you focused on that little thing. You didn't have so much in front of you. If there was so much, a lot of times you say, whatever, it's not such a big deal. But whenever you have a little bit, then a lot of times you focus a lot more. It's a similar answer to quality versus quantity. So I think this is something that we can each take from the Masechet. I'm sure Rabbi Adam shared this whole drasha with you, that when you're focusing on two things, two options, it's very important not to just think, the more I do, the better. Don't spread yourselves out thin. Focus on how much you can do in your lifetime, and focus on how much quality you can put into that doing. Rather than doing more, do less, but do that less better. Mazal Tov again, and I hope you continue to finish all of Shas. Mazal Tov.